everybody. So in talking about mindset challenges that will come up, one common one is that in order for you to launch your new product, your online course, whatever it is, it has to be perfect. And that's just not the case, which is exactly why we go through this in the way that we do. So there's a huge difference between like shooting from the hip and taking imperfect action. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, because this is a mindset challenge that a lot of people have, is that it has to be completely perfect, completely finished and dialed in before you launch. And that's just not the case. So when you build out your framework, you are going to build out, we're going to do that next, you are going to build out your entire success path for your learner, which means that you have identified who your learner is, you've identified the result that they need in order to be successful, and then you are going to map out the path for them to get there, right? So they're essentially going on a journey that you're taking them on to get to where they are today to where they're moving in the future. That is the most critical piece, right? That ability to get someone to success is way more important than how pretty your graphics are. So I'm going to say that first. The second thing is that what we're going to do is we're going to test our framework. We're going to test that success path with live people before we go and do all the videos, before we do all the assets and make everything. We are going to teach it with a live beta. So our goal when we're first starting out is to create a minimum viable product. In order to create a minimum viable product, say that 10 times fast, what we need to do is we need to be very intentional about what we're creating, but not over design it, not over engineer it. So this is the step that is critical for you to test your offer, to test your material, make sure you can get people to success before you go and spend months and hours and days and years actually building out your assets. Because what happens most of the time is people feel that they have to have it completely finished before they can launch. And then what happens is they never launch, right? Are you one of those people who have tried to get all of this out of your head and into some type of framework, and you've kind of gotten that far, but then it feels overwhelming to do everything? Yeah, right? That's what happens. But so often it's because of this issue with not being able to take imperfect action. So just be comfortable. Like if you are a perfectionist, I'm a perfectionist, right? If you are a perfectionist, you need to make sure that you feel really confident in what you're teaching and how you're showing up for your students, not so much the polish and shine around what you're teaching at this point. Because when you first do your beta, you're actually telling them that you're doing a beta, right? You're inviting them in to do this live with you, which gives you a little bit more leeway. And so the goal again is to just launch imperfectly versus having it completely finished, completely dialed in and beautiful before you launch. So if this is a mindset challenge that you have, really dig into that and get comfortable with the fact that honestly, taking action is so much more important than not taking action, right? Because in order to get started, you have to start moving. In order to gain momentum, you have to start teaching. You have to start serving the people that you want to serve. The best way for you to do that is to do that live beta and get it out there and then perfect it. In fact, one of the things that we talk about along the journey is you're going to do your beta, and then you're going to launch the 1.0 version. Then you're going to look at that automated version, that 1.0 version, and then build 2.0 version, right? And then maybe for a while that's just going to be great. And then you come back to it later and you add in some different things and you create an additional version of it. But what's going to happen is you're going to learn so much along the way that literally if you think that you're going to have all the answers before you start, it's not going to happen. So really spend a couple of minutes thinking through how you can work your way past this particular challenge if that's your challenge, because I'm giving you permission right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's better if it's not perfect, because it gives you the opportunity to adjust and adapt and get feedback from your learners that you need in order to continue moving forward.